So how a leather bag starts here at Loyalty Leather. First thing we do is select the bag we want to make. Here, first one we're going to make is the classic tote bag. What we're going to do is we're going to roll out the leather we want to use for it and check the leather to see any graining or anything natural characteristics within the leather that we want to use. Then we just put our pattern down over those spots, cut the entire bag out, and then we're gonna go move to sewing. So how we sew the bag is we first just glue up any seams, and then we sew up the bag in a certain process that we have, just making sure everything looks right and gets aligned. And then we end up with the bag we want, but then the final stage we have to do is edge treatment to make sure all those edges are nice and smooth and easy and feel great to the end customer. Once the bag is sewn and put together, next stage we do, final stage, any bag that goes out of our shop is we put our logo on it. So we wet the leather, imprint the logo so it's permanently imprinted into the leather, and then our bag is ready, our canvas is ready, and the exciting news part is we get to go to the dye stage.
Okay, now it's time for my favorite part of the process. We're going to dye this bag. And this part is just like really intuitive and super simple. First, I pick the color I'm going to use. And then I pick out the brushes I'm going to use. And the brushes are super important because it changes the kind of mark you're going to get on the leather. So depending on what I have in mind, and usually I'll envision it or sketch the design I have in advance, I'll pick the right tools for the job. So then I take a moment just to take in the beauty of the bag. I walk all around it and look at it. And then when I feel really confident and really sure, I put the first mark down. And then that mark informs every other mark on the bag. The bag has now become a painting. And this is the most transformational, exciting part of the process. Once the bag is done being dyed, we make sure to seal it so that no dye ever escapes from the leather and it never gets on any of your clothes.
After the bags are completely dyed and sealed, the next thing we want to do before they hit out of our shop is we want to condition the bag. What we do for this is we actually start injecting moisture back into the leather because a lot of that has been taken out as we've touched the bag, sewn the bag, and dyed the bag. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use Saphir lotion, one of the best lotioning agents on the market, to inject moisture back into the bag. We also use Bic 4 because Bic 4 allows the color not to change on the leather itself. So once we give a good condition to the entire bag, we allow that to dry and buff to a high shine. Then the bag is ready to be packed and shipped straight to you.
All right, it's time to dye these boots, and I am super excited. All right, so I'm gonna grab my brushes here. Usually I go for the longer, skinnier brushes because there's a little more control there. And let me get my dye. And then with shoes, it's really important to start with super light colors. I like to put down a really thin base coat so I can get an idea of how the leather is going to accept the dye. And then I need to kind of work in the parameters of what the leather is allowing. So with shoes, some designs I like to make them asymmetrical. A lot of other designs I'll do a symmetrical pair or matching set. So with this set, they're going to be matching, and I make sure to build up the layers of color on each shoe as we go. So I don't just paint one shoe and then the other, I paint them both together. And this process just takes a few hours of just like layering color and adding depth and stepping back and looking at the shoe and seeing where it needs more attention. And then I just free flow from there.
So once the shoes are dyed and all the dye is completely dry, the next thing to do is we want to seal the shoes because we all know shoes are close to the ground, they get a ton of wear and tear. So we put a really light coat of clear coat sealer on all of the shoes to really lock in every little brush stroke that Cheryl's done. After that, the next big process for any leather product is condition. I'm a big fan of condition. So I am a master at conditioning the leather at this point. What we want to do for our shoes is we want to start injecting conditioner back into the shoe because we took a lot of moisture out during the dyeing process. So I first coat all the shoes with a good coating of conditioner. We use the highest grade Saphir products to allow that shoe to get the maximum amount of moisture. Then we start building up wax layers with pigment as well as solid wax layers to start creating a really good coating of protection for that shoe. And then the final stage is a high buff finish. So you really get a nice, beautiful, crisp, shiny shoe to step out into every day.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We really had a lot of fun sharing with you, and we hope to see you soon.